Hey guys, 7th here. So, been looking at the community, watching all the videos that people have been putting up, and I'm seeing a lot of anger towards Nintendo and the new policies that they've put forth in regards to their own partnership program. Well, like a good gamer, 7th level is there, so I'm here to talk about this issue. And I think it's a big steaming pile of shit. This is a company who their handhelds are doing great. Their console is in the stink pot. It's the worst selling console in the history of the company. The only good games for it are the first party exclusives. It's the Dreamcast all over again, which is what I said would happen way before the system even came out. I predicted this was going to happen, and this is what has happened. You would think that they would want as much positive press for this mid-gen underpowered console as they could get. You would think that. But no. At this point, I guess they're trying to just suck as much revenue out of this failed system as much as they possibly can to try to recoup some of the loss. And this is their way of doing it. And if you haven't heard about this, I can't imagine how you haven't. But if you haven't heard about this, they have their own partnership program now through YouTube for ad revenue. And if you sign up for it and post videos of Nintendo published titles, then they're not going to flag you for copyright. They will just cut you in on a cut of your money. In other words, you are having to pay Nintendo for the right to show footage of their games on your channel. That's really what it boils down to. And they tell you that it's a 60-40 split, but it isn't really. Not really. What they do is they take the revenue that's earned and then they cut YouTube in on it, so YouTube gets their cut and then you get what's left over. So really it comes out to around, I think it's 42 to 48% of the revenue earned is what you actually get. And on top of that, there's certain games that they still won't allow you to show, period. So if you try to put videos of those games up, I'm assuming that they will simply copyright flag you and knock them down. And Pokemon was one of them, and Super Smash Brothers was another one. These are two extremely popular franchises, so why they don't want people making videos of them and talking about them, I have no clue. It's just the most asinine policy I've ever heard of. Why would you take some of your most popular franchises and say, well, we're going to cut you in on a cut of the money that you've already earned and should be entitled to, but in regards to these games, we're not going to allow you to make videos about those at all. I mean, in what parallel universe does this policy make even the slightest modicum of fucking sense? For real? And it even gets worse. It gets fucking worse. Are you ready for this? If you sign up for their partnership program, then Nintendo published games are all they want to see on your channel. You're not allowed to post video footage from any other company. So if you're a multi-console owner and you sign up for their partnership program, you're fucked. You're just bent over backwards and skull fucked right in the eye socket by Nintendo. Because think about it. How small is the audience for the Wii U? Now think about how big the audience is for PC games, for PlayStation 4, and even for Xbox One compared to the Wii U. You're basically cutting your audience down to the tiniest fraction of what you would get being able to cover multiple systems, multiple publishers. You're essentially dooming your channel to be in a little hug box of Nintendo fanboys, because they're the only ones that are going to be watching the video. And on top of that, they're also going to have control over the tone of the material that you post. So if, for example, you really didn't like, I don't know, Pikmin 3, and you posted a video talking about how You didn't really feel Pikmin 3 was all that. Well, they can have that video taken down because they have control over the tone of your videos. If they don't like what you say about their games, they can just cut it out, take it off your channel. And of course, if you get enough of those marks, bye-bye channel. So it's almost like they're trying to trick you into signing up for this so that they can get rid of these YouTube channels that they didn't want on there to begin with. I mean, how long has Nintendo been complaining about people recording and uploading and making money off of footage of their games? How long? Been a good while. And so here we have them coming up with these draconian policies that's going to result in several channels getting shut down just because they're not fully aware of what all these little policies that they're sneaking in there are. And so you're going to end up with fewer YouTube channels, and the thing that's scary about it is how many of you are falling for this bullshit and are actually signing up for it. It's fucking ridiculous. Well, I am a multi-console owner, and I am a lover of Nintendo games. I don't know how this is going to apply to their real old shit, like Super Nintendo games, NES games, N64, that kind of thing, as far as doing my Redneck Retro review videos. I suppose what I'm going to have to do is simply not cover, as much as I don't like to do this, simply not cover any games for the old systems that were actually published by Nintendo. Licensed by Nintendo I could get away with because everything except for bullshit like the Color Dreams releases had to be licensed to get on the system. But if it's published by Nintendo, I'm just not going to cover it. I will stick on the retro systems that are Nintendo systems. I'll stick to third-party stuff because they can't do shit to me if I'm talking about Mega Man. They can't do shit to me when I'm talking about Castlevania or any of these more obscure titles that were third-party releases because they don't have the publishing rights on them. They don't have the copyrights on them, so I should be okay there. Now, as far as Wii goes, same thing. I'm not going to be able to cover anything that was published by Nintendo, which unfortunately includes Xenoblade Saga and The Last Story and some of the other RPGs that I really wanted to get into on my channel, but I'm not going to do it because I'm not going to risk getting copyright flags that are going to knock my channel out. Finally, as far as Wii U goes, here's what I'm going to do, and I may do this with Wii too if I feel the need to review a game that I know they're going to ding me on. I'll post my review anyway, and I'll monetize my review anyway. But instead of showing footage of their game, I'll show footage of a game that maybe an indie publisher would appreciate having footage of their game up. Some indie game that is a real niche title that I see some appeal for that I'd like to get more exposure. And so I'll talk about the Nintendo game while I'm showing you footage of a different game and sending them some interest and sending them some customers and sending them some money. And Nintendo can just fuck right the hell off because they can't take my video down just for talking about their product, and they can't take my video down just for reviewing their product when I'm not showing any footage of their product. And so that's how I'm going to handle it, as a big middle finger and fuck you to Nintendo. I'll still review all of the AAA releases for the Wii U as I get them, but I'm not going to show any footage of it. I'll tell you what I think. I won't be in any way biased one way or the other. If I think the game sucks, I'll tell you it sucks, and I will tell you why it sucks. But I'm not going to show a single goddamn second of Nintendo footage. I will show anything other than that. If I have to, I'll record footage of Pong with my neighbor's old 8mm camera, and I'll upload that before I show a single fucking second of Nintendo published footage. It ain't gonna happen, folks. If they cancel this thing out, come to their senses, and realize that all these people that have been on YouTube since 2007, giving them free, absolutely free advertising, that in this day and age is more effective than anything that they could buy on any Kotaku or any Polygon site out there. If they rescind this and say, okay, we were being dumbasses because we just really don't understand how YouTube works, and we didn't realize that this is where the bulk of the excitement for our product was coming from, we're going to leave you YouTubers alone. You make all the footage you want. This is our way of saying thank you for you being loyal customers and taking personal time to show your love for our products. We're going to leave you alone and just respect the fact that you love us and support us. If Nintendo does that, then I'll start using footage and I'll start giving them more coverage on my channel. Until then, as long as they continue to be assholes and continue to screw over their fans, their diehard fans that are keeping their little console afloat, no. You guys, let's just put it this way. You guys are baka. Baka! Fuck you. I'm not touching your games. I'll talk about them, but I ain't showing them. This is 7th.